I kept laughing while watching The Invite because I thought, man, this whole thing could have been solved with one honest conversation. But then I realized that's literally why the movie has to happen. Because most people don't have these conversations until something forces them to. And that's when I started thinking about another movie that explores a similar idea, The Drama. These are two completely different movies, but both use extreme situations to force couples to confront things that they've been avoiding. In The Invite, the chaos comes from a marriage that is already falling apart. Seth Rogen and Olivia Wilde's characters haven't been intimate in over a year, and while they claim they're staying together for their child, it's clear they're both deeply unhappy. The invitation to this wild situation also becomes unclear. Is it their attempt to save their marriage, or is this the thing that finally pushes them towards ending it? Then you have The Drama, where Robert Pattinson's character is preparing for a wedding when he discovers a darker side of Zendaya's character's past involving violence and firearms. Suddenly he's forced to question whether the person he loves is someone he truly understands or whether the love is enough when uncomfortable truths come to light. And that's what makes these movies so interesting to me. The extreme situations aren't really the point. The extreme situations are what strip away the excuses. They force these characters to finally confront the conversations they've been avoiding. But once those walls come down, what are these couples actually forced to face? That's where these two movies become really fascinating, because underneath all the chaos, they're both telling very different stories about trust, honesty, and what it actually takes to know the person you're with. But what exactly is the truth these characters are being forced to confront? In The Invite, the truth comes down to one question. Are we still choosing each other? By the end of the movie, it's clear these two people still love each other. But for so long, they've been blaming each other for their problems that could have honestly just been solved through honest communication. What's fascinating is that the orgy almost works as a metaphor for their entire relationship. They're both willing to do something incredibly uncomfortable physically because they're avoiding the thing that's actually uncomfortable, the emotional conversation they desperately need to have. And that's what makes the situation so interesting, because you start to wonder, if this actually happened, would their relationship even survive it? Olivia's character seems almost ready for this to be her exit. Meanwhile, Seth's character is more hesitant. But even if they stayed in the relationship together, it would have never been the same after crossing that line. But when the orgy fails completely, they have nowhere else to run. The distraction is gone, the escape is gone, and they're finally forced to confront the conversation they've been avoiding this entire time. The movie pushes them to such an extreme place just to get them to finally be vulnerable with one another. And that's where The Drama takes a similar idea but approaches it from a completely different angle. While The Invite asks, are we still choosing each other? The Drama asks a different question. Do we actually know the person we chose? Once Robert Pattinson's character discovers the darker parts of Zendaya's past, everything he thought he knew about their relationship starts to fall apart. Instead of confronting those feelings head on, he spirals. He starts questioning whether he can move forward with the wedding and whether the person he's about to commit his life to is someone he truly understands. And that's where I found myself frustrated with this character, because a more mature response would have been to slow everything down and admit I need time to process this before we take the next step. But maybe that's the point. The pressure of the wedding, the expectations, the fear of losing the relationship all push him into reacting instead of communicating. What's interesting is that The Drama doesn't end with this perfect emotional resolution either. After complete chaos erupts at the wedding and both characters' truths come out, they're left to figure out where they need to go from there. And that's actually where it connects back to The Invite. Neither movie gives us this clean Hollywood answer where one conversation magically fixes everything. Instead, both movies end with couples who have finally exposed the things that they've been hiding, but now they have to decide what happens next. And that's why I think these movies are so similar while still being completely different. The Invite is about rediscovering a connection that was already there. The drama is about questioning whether that connection was built on something real in the first place. Maybe that's why both of these movies really stuck with me. They're not really about sex parties or dark secrets. They're about what happens when life forces us to stop pretending everything's okay. The chaos isn't what fixes these relationships. It simply exposes the conversations that should have happened long before everything fell apart. So maybe the real question isn't why movies need chaos to create honest relationships. Maybe it's why we as humans so often wait for chaos before we're willing to have those conversations ourselves. What do you think? Do relationships really need a breaking point before people can become honest? Or can healthy communication actually prevent that chaos in the first place? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.